When I work with music educators, I usually work with them around music curriculum and instruction, but I think people are surprised because what I learned was that when I used to do lots of curriculum development projects, both in my own school district for other projects, and then at the state in Virginia, I did lead several curriculum teams as we were going under revisions for the new standards. And as I was doing all these different projects, what I learned was that one, I'm really good at curriculum development. And I love it because I love showing music educators what's possible when we decenter just skills, technique only kind of teaching, which is very basic, and really incorporate that along with contextual. How do we help students to use this music to understand other things? And what I found, and I'd be curious to hear what your thoughts are on this too, is that I couldn't just do curriculum development for people. I had to start reframing thoughts of mine first, because what I learned was it didn't matter how great the curriculum I developed was when I handed it over. If people didn't fundamentally think and reframe their thoughts, the way they were teaching it was not the direction I was trying to go when I created it. And so I learned that when I created the framework that I utilize for my folks that I train, it actually doesn't start with curriculum or repertoire. It starts with these reframes that we have to do around equitable frames of reference and how we are developing learning environments. What are your thoughts about that and some of the work that you're doing? I think that it really connects, I think, to some of the work that you're doing, since you focus more on that DEI piece. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, interesting. So this is actually an ongoing conversation, and I think we're using similar language, but in the work that I do, we use the language mindset change or mindset shift, and then practice change, right? That in order to really make an impact, educators and leaders must have a mindset shift and then also implement practices that advance diversity, equity, and inclusion. And not a debate, but the conversation is like, which comes first? Like, is there a direction? Does mindset shift have to come before practice change, or can practice change come before mindset shift? And I don't know the answer, but what I'm wrestling with right now, I guess kind of internally, is at the end of the day, do I care if someone truly believes in the practices that we're doing, or do I care most that students are protected and valued and have a great experience at school? And I think both are important, but at the end of the day, do I care if someone changes their mind or if they are protecting and valuing students? And I don't know just yet. So I think both are important, but I don't know if one direction is best, or frankly, if mindset shift is fully needed. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I'm wrestling with the same thing. I'm wrestling with the same thing too, because as I continue to work with different school district music teams and school district teams all over. Right now I'm traveling in Boston. As I travel and do different things, I'm coming in more contact with people that are attracted to my message because they've already done some DEI work, right? So they've already started this work of self-critical reflection. They've already started this work of really trying to understand what, at a bigger level, what does it mean to be diverse, to be inclusive, and to hold equitable space. And so what I'm finding is I'm doing more practice work with those school districts. There's no reason for me to come in and like redo stuff when they've already started to have those shifts. And I still wonder the same thing, like, does it need to be one has to happen before the other? Because ultimately we need teachers to go in the classroom and to teach. Like, at the end of the day, they got to teach, whether they got a mindset change or not. And so I'm really wrestling with, how do I make sure that the work I'm doing still supports the bottom line that teachers have and that districts have for their music teachers and their programs, and knowing that the true practice, I don't know that the true practice can really shift without the mindset. And then another thought I've been having is, at what point do we need accountability measures to kind of hold people to practices while their mindset shifts are kind of catching up? Is that like a teacher evaluation? Maybe so. Maybe there needs to be aspects of teacher evaluation that account for some of these practices that would only happen on one teacher's own if they have, you know what I mean? That they have the mindset shift. I'm not really sure either, because I'm still wrestling with that of like, does there have to always be the same starting place for everybody? Or as somebody who values everybody has to start where they are, right, in their journey, do I maybe start in different places and put other kinds of things in place while the other mindset stuff is kind of catching up? Because in some situations, the house is on fire. They just got to figure out how are we going to make sure that we're supporting the kids, getting the kids back into our programs. And it's like, we got to put the fire out. can we get the practices in place maybe right now and then kind of catch it up? I'm still wrestling with that myself as I continue to make sure that what I'm doing is flexible enough for the variety of teachers and the journeys that they might be on. Yeah.
Yeah. I like what you just said, the idea of creating practice change, accountability measures while folks are moving through that mindset shift process. And I think at the beginning, it might feel like accountability or like mandates or punishments, whatever it might be. But I think as people move along that spectrum on shifting their mindset, it might feel like support, right? Like, oh, these measures are here to ensure I stay on track. So I like that frame. You're convincing me that mindset shift. I mean, I know it's important, but I'm you know, I know it's important, but I'm beginning to think like, is it fully necessary? But I like the idea of holding folks accountable while they come along. Yeah. Okay.